Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for DogWifHat. Now this is actually the best trade of the year I took, was this asset coin. We spotted it way when it was really low market cap. I think it was like 200 and something in the market cap. And this was early February. This video is from February 20th. I had a 1-2-1-2 set up and I was expecting very high targets as an impulse. You can go back and look. I think I was the only one covering it at that time. But here's just a quick clip from it. Is pretty high on log scale at around $5. That's a pretty massive move. I'm not sure if we'll be on log or linear. We're talking like 11, 10x plus. So that was back at around 40 cents, looking for a 10x plus, so like $4 plus, around $5. And here we are. So this count has changed several times. It's been a little bit tough to track, but we have to assume that because of this explosive move, we might not get as strong as the standard fifth wave targets. This third wave was very explosive. We came past the 1.6 extension of wave 1 off wave 2 at the 1.786. And when that happens, I expect a little bit higher on the fifth wave, away from our standard targets. We ended up hitting the 2.382 extension for our third wave. Came back for a short, shy fourth, very short, and then our fifth wave to the upside. Now, there was a possibility that our fourth was over here and we were going to get a fifth, but this is why I use pitchforks on top of my as one of my standard tools. Is if we start to drift outside of it, it usually means a wave is pretty much done. And this is on modified pitchfork. So we had an opportunity here, even here, to get the fifth wave to the upside, because I even had higher targets up at around $11 for this actual impulse, but we were just playing the third wave. This option was there, but when we failed to get follow through, most likely the impulse is complete. So then we can do some reverse engineering here on this wave, and clearly we have 5 waves in our third and a fifth wave to the upside. More evidence of that is this was our highest peak. This was our third of our third. And if we go out to the daily, you can see our divergence between our third and our fifth. This is a daily wave for RSI. You can see most of our volumes in our third. So it makes the most sense that we have completed our 5-wave pattern. Now, another area of weakness. So obviously this wave was very strong, these 5 waves in green. But if we look at the further out, it was a little bit weak. We came to the 1.382 for the third. And when that happens, if you saw this in advance, I'd only target the 1.618 for the fifth, not the 200, which is just as a guideline I usually use. If we hit the 1.618 for our third, I would expect the 200. And again, that was possible over here, but we didn't get the buyers step in. So this is a completed wave in my point of view. And now we're focused on the correction. Time has passed way too long as well. Okay, so I extended out in time. The 1-to-1 in time, we're already past that. So this could be something more complex. So I started from our high. First of all, standard retracements we expect, the 382, 50, and the 618, if this is a completed fifth wave. Now, there's always the possibility that this is still a fourth wave. This just gets really, really extended. I think that's happening in a couple coins like XRP. So it is possible. Same with Matic. I think the same thing is happening. It does go against guidelines, but it's not invalidated whatsoever. So always leaving that open as an option if this ends up becoming some sort of triangle in the long run, something like that. So off the high, we had a 3-wave move, ABC. This is where I'm focused at now. We had a WXY, came a little bit shy of the trend line. Just shy of the 1-to-1, I believe. Yeah, we hit just past the 618's my minimum right there, and we reversed. So we have a 3, 3, and I have this as an ABC as well. So we have a double zigzag so far. So, and also our W wave off our X hit the 1-to-1 right there, pretty much to the tick. So I'm going to get rid of this pitchfork. It's kind of noisy. There we go. I threw on my pitchfork from our W off our X. I mentioned sometimes I'll use shift first. It ends up being a little less than a channel, and modified is a channel. All that is if you take your top of your wave 5 off the X, put it down, it's the same thing as a channel. So I use pitchforks rather than channels. It's just easier to adjust on the go. So we have a 3-wave move complete. So what are we expecting when we see a double zigzag? A couple different things. It can be an A wave and a flat, which I have marked out here, like so. So an A wave and a flat can be a double zigzag, and if it is a flat, we need minimum retracement of 90% of this move to the downside, which is up at 430.77. So we'd expect this to consolidate sideways in some very choppy moves and then come down in 5 waves to complete. That is our flat scenario. And how you get there with this kind of chop, because as you can see, this was a 3-wave move to the upside off that low, and we quickly came down in another 3-wave. So the way these end up going is if you don't have your stop, if you end up trading this and you don't have your stop at this low, and you're like, oh, as soon as we break this high, I'll move my stop to the 618, chances are you're just going to get chopped back, and then it's going to do exactly what you expected. So it's very difficult to trade B waves because they can be so erratic. The only way I would suggest trading B waves is at like the start of the correction, because you're just going to get chopped up. 3 waves everywhere in B waves usually, and they can turn into many different things. All right, you could even get like a wave here. This turns into some stupid triangle. And then you get another move up, then you get some sort of expanded flat, and then you get, you know what I mean? It can get very erratic. So if you do choose to trade this, you try and get as low as you can to the bottom of the correction and just wait through it. Don't get chopped out in it. All right, so that's one I'm tracking. Another one I'm tracking, it's a rare correction, but it is available, and that is the WXYXZ. And what that would end up looking like is more of a wedge pattern. This is our WXY. We'd look for a 3 here, up to between around the 50, and we'd end up making pretty much a wedge pattern, like so, and then we'd move to the upside. But you have to be careful with that, because then you have triple zigzag. And what is a triple zigzag? Well, it can be a wave as a diagonal, or a wave 1 to the downside if the trend is changing to the downside, right? So these are things you need to be paying attention to and watching the reaction after the potential correction is complete. That's where you get the information. What's the price action after, right? If you get this move and then we get a crazy, impulsive move, it's probably good to buy that pullback. But if we come up here and we end up chopping, it's more likely corrective, right? And you might end up taking the short. So it's all what happens after this, right? That's important. But I'm going to be watching this, and I want to see the move. If this ends up making another 3, I want to see the reaction. Because if I get like a small 5-wave down on a 15-minute, I might take a short on the pullback, but only targeting the 1-to-1 extension, right? Something like this. You can trade in them, but they're usually scalp trades, very short and quick. And usually I want to see a micro 5-wave to take it. My favorite trades are 3rd waves and C waves, right? Or Y waves. They're the best risk reward trade setups, so you want to wait for them rather than just hopping in the market. But if we get up here up to the B wave with chop, obviously that'll be a nice trade as well. So the final option here is we have a double zigzag. This can eventually turn into some sort of triangle as well. And if that ends up happening, I might have to recount this. This is where I said maybe I would consider this still the 4th wave if we get something like that. Reason being, you can't get a triangle in a wave 2, and this would make a larger wave 1 and 2, right? It would be in a wave, you can get triangles in waves 4, B's, or X's, right? So this could also be an A, B, and C to the upside. So anyways, that's everything I'm tracking. I'm going to be tracking this one on the regular. If a trade opportunity presents it, I'm going to take it. But as of right now, I'm expecting, these moves are still pretty good. Like we're still talking 100% moves, even as that B wave in a flat, right? So there is opportunity there. Just don't expect crazy all-time highs or anything like that. All right, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want these right away. I'm going to be posting on the regular. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, sometimes I post on there when I don't make videos. It's @caching_waves. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching.